Hey guys, it's the nerd half of this Nerdtroverts duo, and today I'm doing the D&D tag. So this is like the first non-book related video that I'm doing, which is like kind of fun. So the D&D tag was created by Jeannie D, and I will link her original video down below. And it's basically just a bunch of questions about who I am as a D&D player and some of the experiences I've had while playing D&D. Real quick, in case you don't know, D&D stands for Dungeons & Dragons, which is a very old, very well-known tabletop role-playing game. It essentially is just sitting around a table with your friends, telling a really interesting story, or a really boring story, depending on your friends, and rolling a bunch of dice and having fun. Okay, with that out of the way, let's just get into the questions. Question 1. What was your first D&D character? The first character I ever created is actually Theastra, who is the character that I am still to this day playing. So Theastra is a high elven cleric of the Tempest domain, and she is from a noble background. I know, how predictable. A high elf of a noble background. How original. But, you know, I wasn't creating like a character that I wanted to be totally unique and totally like out of left field. Like, I was just creating the kind of character that I wanted to play. She's my first ever character. I still to this day am playing Theastra. We are having a lot of fun in my current campaign. I've been playing Theastra for 2 years, which is how long I've been playing D&D, and I adore her with everything in me. Question 2. Which D&D class is your least favorite to play or do you not want to play? Maybe Wizard. I don't love how like the spell book, like it confuses me more than anything, but I don't love that. I also can't really see myself ever playing a bard. Maybe one day I'll play a bard. I think bards are really great, like, as a class. Like, I really enjoy watching people play bards, but I just don't think that that's a role that I can necessarily play. I don't know, maybe bard. I think I might go with bard for that one. It's not something that I really want to play. Like, it's never really on, like, my list of potential characters. Like, I never think to play a bard. Which D&D spell would you most want to have in real life? When I watched Ginny's video, she had such a good answer for this question, and I don't want to steal it, but I don't know what spell I would want. There are so many spells in D&D, but in like real life, a lot of them probably aren't going to be that valuable or important, but I think that I would want either comprehend languages or tongues, because I am someone who like wants to know a lot of languages and I want to learn how to speak other languages. I really admire people who speak more than one language, but I just don't have like the time or the dedication or the like motivation to like sit down and like learn a language. Having tongues or comprehend languages would just be really cool. You'd just be able to like travel and just go wherever, and you could just talk to anyone because you'd be able to communicate with them. And I think that would be really cool. So I would want, I don't know which one I'd want, either of them. Either of the languages I would want. Question 4. What's your favorite D&D monster? I am going to be totally honest, I don't know a lot of monsters in D&D. I'm too busy trying not to die to really take in a lot of the detail about like what monster I'm fighting. But I think it's such a basic answer, but I think I'm a sucker for like a good dragon. Like, it's literally in the name. It's Dungeons and Dragons. And I don't know, I love that with the dragon, chances are when your DM first introduces it, you're not going to fight it straight away. Like, it's probably going to be like a bigger story. And I like that they have lair actions. It terrifies me, but I think it's a really cool feature that like dragons have. And yeah, I don't know, I find dragons fun. They're terrifying. My party is currently in the middle of trying to fight 3 of them. We have 3 dragons to kill, but I think it's such a compelling story for characters to go through. It's the classic dragon fight. So I'm gonna go dragons. And you also, when you defeat them, get a bunch of really cool loot, which is not bad either. What's your favorite NPC or villain that you've encountered or created? I love Tiana, who is essentially like a mentor for my character. When my character like left home to like become a cleric of Cord and like do all that, she was sort of mentored by this character that my DM created called Tiana, and my DM loves Tiana. And she's so like sisterly, I think, to Theastra. and I absolutely loved, it was a character I could just go to for advice, and I really loved that. But my DM killed her, which he's more upset about than me, I think, because he really loved her, but like, I am determined to bring her back. I just have to find her body, because I don't know where she is. But when I find her, you bet your butt I'm gonna try and bring her back. Has one of your characters ever died, and what killed them? Yes. My party has played a couple of like one-shots or like different campaigns just to kind of mix things up and try different characters, try a different story. And the second ever campaign we tried after our main one, I created this half-orc barbarian called Vola, and I love her. She is like snarky and mean, and she like doesn't really give a shit. And it was just such a wild difference from Theastra that I had so much fun playing her. But we went to a place on the map that was too high level for our characters. We like went to the top of this wizard's tower, and then the tower got surrounded by werewolves, and they were like, come down so we can kill you, or we're gonna kill you. And we were trying to figure out what to do, and the werewolves were able to like destroy the magic that was holding this tower together, and the tower collapsed, and we TPK'd, which is a total party kill if you don't know what that means. We all died, every single one of us. Vola had enough hit points while raging, and I saved on my dexterity saving throw, so I didn't die, but then I failed every strength saving throw to get out from underneath the rubble, so I suffocated and died. But then, half orcish resilience, so I came back to 1 HP. I managed to like get to a point where I could breathe, but I was like covered in rubble. So I was just like, I guess I just wait to die then. What's your best natural 20 story? I'm gonna be totally honest, I don't think I have a natural 20 story, and I feel like I should. I feel like every D&D player should have a good nat 20 and a good nat 1 story, but I cannot for the life of me think of one. I've been trying to think of one since I like first decided to do this tag, and I can't think of a single one. I know I've rolled nat 20s, but they haven't been like so amazing that they've like stuck in my memory. So I don't have one. What is your best natural 1 story? The first ever time I had to roll a death saving throw, I rolled a natural 1. I mean, I didn't die. I was healed, thank God. But like, way to betray me, dice. What's the highest level you've ever played a character to? My highest level I've played a character to is level 14, which is the current level that I'm sitting at with Theastra and the current campaign that I'm playing in. So we're going to continue to grow, but as of recording this, she's at level 14, and that is the highest I have ever gotten with a D&D character. What's my favorite magical item? I have a really cool staff that I use, but it's a homebrew that my DM created. I mean, like, the magical items that I tend to want to get are things like Ring of Protection, because I want that AC to be as high as motherfucking possible. I don't want to die. Actually, my favorite magical item is probably the Bag of Holding, because I am the Bag of Holding keeper, and I know it's such a statement for like every campaign that you have a Bag of Holding, and it's such a classic. It's such a good thing, and you don't have to worry about carry weight because you can just shove it in the Bag of Holding. If you had an in real life alignment, what would it be? I would like to say that I'm neutral good, but I think if you ask literally anyone around me, they would tell you I'm lawful good. I was very much raised to be a goody two-shoes, so maybe I'm more lawful good than I'd like to admit, but I would say neutral good. If you asked me, I would say neutral good. If you had to date one of your characters, which one would you pick? I don't really create dateable characters. Or not, well, no, that's not true. I don't create characters that I personally would want to date. For some reason, the character that comes to mind is Riptide, who is my non-binary water genasi. I don't know why my mind went to them, but it did. And also, yes, Riptide is a nod to Percy Jackson. because I'm predictable. Is there a character you would want to play but haven't had the chance to play yet? My friend was going to do a Star Wars campaign, and I did create a Star Wars character that I was really excited to play because I'd not long finished playing Fallen Order, Jedi Fallen Order. I just played that, and so like my character was like very similar to Cal, and I really want to play her, but I don't know if we ever will. I don't know if that's still a thing that's happening. Are you a dice goblin or a dice minimalist? Obviously, I am a dice minimalist. Now, I am very clearly a dice goblin. I like my click clack shiny math rocks. This is indeed my dice bag. I like dice, you know, and some of my dice roll well and some of them don't, but I have faith in all of my dice. I have faith that they all can roll well. I just think some of them get upset. I left a D20 in my dice jail, like in between sessions, and I felt so horrible. Also, yes, I have a dice jail. I am that person. And before you like go insane, this dice bag is this big because inside this dice bag are other dice bags. Like, this is not my dice loose. Inside are like smaller dice bags where I have divided my dice up by like dice type. I will stop buying dice when companies stop creating such beautiful dice. And the last question is, what rule or mechanic have you never quite wrapped your brain around? And I'm pretty good at picking up mechanics of D&D. Part of that is because I watch D&D live streams and podcasts and stuff, so like, I don't watch podcasts, I listen to podcasts. So I consume a lot of like D&D content, which helps me understand a lot of the rules and stuff, but probably the one thing that I just failed to comprehend, probably because I haven't played this class properly, is just how wizards work. Like the way their spells work, and like they have to like copy spells over, but like what happens when they level up and they don't have spells? Like I don't fully understand how that works, and it frustrates me, and I think it's like an extra level of like stress that I don't need while playing a D&D game. So I don't understand it. One of my friends plays a wizard in our campaign, and I don't understand it. I don't know how it works. So with that is all of the questions on the D&D tag. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learnt a little bit about me as a D&D player. If you have any more questions as like who I am as a D&D player, or like my characters or anything like that, feel free to comment. I would love to talk about it, but I also know that it's original characters and not everyone cares about original characters. So I will leave that up to you. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye!